Welcome to the Global War Watch Network.
So let's get right into it. In what is a major show of force, Royal Air Force Typhoons are now patrolling the skies over Poland. And make no mistake, this is not some routine exercise. It's a direct, high-stakes response to some pretty serious provocations from Moscow, right there on NATO's eastern flank, a border that's become one of the most tense spots on the planet.
A move like this is bound to raise tensions across Europe. And it really begs a critical question, doesn't it? Are we just looking at a temporary warning shot here, a clear line drawn in the sky to tell Moscow, hey, this far and no further? Or are we watching the very beginning of a dangerous new phase for the whole continent? Let's break it all down.
Okay, so you have to ask, why are British jets over Poland right now? Well, the answer really lies in a recent pattern of Russian military activity. It's this activity that pretty much lit the fuse and put the entire NATO alliance on high alert. To really get the gravity of NATO's response, you first have to understand the provocation. It's the sequence and, honestly, the sheer audacity of these actions that's so alarming. First, you have Russian drones violating the airspace of not one, but two NATO members, Poland and Romania. Then things really kicked up a notch. 3 Russian MiG-331 fighters, and these are powerful, long-range interceptors built for serious combat, breached Estonian airspace. The government in Tallinn did not mince words, calling the move unprecedentedly brazen. And you gotta believe this wasn't some pilot getting lost. It was a deliberate test of NATO's defenses and, more importantly, its political will to push back. So with these provocations, especially the drone crossing into Poland, a simple diplomatic protest just wasn't gonna cut it. These moves demanded a direct military response from NATO, a signal that the alliance's patience had worn thin and that from now on, words would be backed up by some very real action.
And in response, NATO launched a brand new mission. It's called Operation Eastern Sentry. And its job is really twofold. First, to actively patrol and protect Allied airspace, and second, to send an absolutely unmistakable signal of collective resolve. This is a huge shift to an active defense posture. It means NATO isn't just sitting back, watching and waiting anymore, it's actively asserting control over its airspace. And if you want to see just how rapid this response can be, just look at this first sortie. The UK's Royal Air Force scrambled its Typhoon FGR-4 jets all the way from England. Supported by a Voyager tanker, they flew for hours over Poland and then returned home. You see, the mission itself was the message. NATO can project serious air power from hundreds of miles away at a moment's notice. It can reinforce a frontline ally without even needing a permanent base there.
But that brings up another question, right? Why Poland? The choice of location here is definitely not an accident. Poland is fast becoming the center of gravity for NATO's entire Eastern defense strategy. It's transforming itself from just another frontline state into what's basically a military fortress for all of Europe. And Poland is absolutely putting its money where its mouth is. In 2024, it's estimated to be spending over 4% of its entire GDP on defense. I mean, that is a staggering figure. It's more than double the EU average and way, way above the NATO target of 2%. This isn't just a number on a spreadsheet. It's a clear statement of intent, a national commitment to becoming a primary pillar of European security. And you can see exactly where all that money is going. Poland is on an unprecedented shopping spree for the best military hardware out there. Hundreds of Abrams and K2 tanks, advanced rocket artillery systems like HIMARS, next-generation F-35 fighters, and Apache attack helicopters. They're building what is arguably becoming the most powerful land army in Europe, creating a solid hard power backbone for NATO's entire eastern flank. So now, let's look at the specific tool that was used for this mission, the Eurofighter Typhoon. This is a formidable piece of hardware, and, its own history tells us a lot about the changing nature of European defense and the challenges that come with it. The Typhoon was actually born in the Cold War, and it was designed for one primary mission, to completely dominate the skies against Soviet fighters. But as the battlefield changed, so did the Typhoon. Today, it's a true multi-role platform. It's capable of launching precision ground attacks with advanced weapons like Paveways smart bombs and Storm Shadow cruise missiles. And that versatility is exactly why it was chosen for a mission that required both air policing and a credible threat of force. But all this incredible capability comes at an absolutely eye-watering cost. The total lifetime price tag for the UK's Typhoon fleet, and that's from buying them to upgrading them to supporting them through 2030, is an estimated £37 billion. I mean, that's a commitment that dwarfs the entire annual defense budget of many countries. It's just a massive national investment, and it really highlights the immense financial pressure of maintaining a modern, high-tech air force.
And, money isn't the only challenge. A UK National Audit Office report pointed out a really critical bottleneck: pilot training. With issues like getting spare parts, just getting pilots enough flying hours is tough. At one point, only 15% of pilots were fully trained for the jet's most complex ground attack missions. It's a stark reminder, isn't it? Owning an advanced jet is one thing, but having enough pilots ready to exploit its full capabilities, well, that's another challenge entirely.
So, what does this all add up to? This mission over Poland? It isn't just some tactical response. It could very well be the first real sign of a fundamental shift in NATO's entire strategy towards Russia, a move from a passive to a much more active posture.
For decades, Western strategy was all about deterrence. It's a defensive idea. You place small tripwire forces on the border and threaten massive retaliation after an attack, hoping to prevent it from ever happening. But now, a lot of analysts are arguing that we're seeing a shift towards containment, and that's a proactive strategy. It's about actively contesting an adversary's aggressive moves before they can escalate, denying them any room to maneuver.
This Typhoon deployment is a perfect example of this new containment strategy in action. NATO isn't waiting around for a bigger attack. It's actively challenging this airspace violation right now. As the UK Defense Secretary put it, the message is simple and direct. NATO airspace will be defended. That emphasis on the word will really marks a clear shift from a statement of intent to a promise of immediate action. It signals that incursions are going to have consequences, not just condemnations. Which brings us right back to where we started. Was this a one-off warning shot, just a response to a specific provocation, designed to reestablish a red line? Or is this the new normal for European security, the first of many such missions in an era of active, persistent containment? The answer to that question is going to define the continent's stability for years to come. Thank you for your time and participation. We're really keen to hear what you think about all this. Is this a necessary show of strength, or is it a dangerous escalation? Let us know down in the comments below. And if you found this breakdown valuable, please consider giving us a like and subscribing to the Global War Watch Network for more. You can also join the conversation on our social media channels. All the links for that are in the description. Thanks again for watching.